Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Dissect. I go by the name of Novelist, and of course, we have with us a special co-host. He goes by the name of Sam. You guys are used to him. What's
Well,
going on?
I'm good. I'm obviously not Joel. So,
Right? Well, I hope not. That would be a hell of a change.
right, right. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Nice,
God
nice.
bless. How was your weekend,
My
holiday,
time
whatever?
my time off was pretty chill. Didn't do much. I just stayed home, made a lot of potato pudding. Um,
Okay.
Peanut punch, those that type of thing. So, how was everything with you and your family?
Everything was good. It was good to have both boys back in the house together at the same
Nice,
time.
nice,
So we
nice.
just hung out. But for the most part, I
Right.
don't do all of the flair and all of the
Yeah,
other stuff. But it's
same
good to
here.
hang out with the family.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking about family, we have a special guest in the building, and I'm proud to say that person is my family. So, yeah, we'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll bring
Bring
you
on the
guys on.
guest.
Yes.
All
All right,
right.
back in two twos.
So I'm Janine Zabi across.
I'm Janelle Safi.
And where's
On
Zabi Street?
yourself, this is Wesley Beats on the inside and we're ready to go.
Are you, Jewel? I think
No,
you're
I'm
hidden talents that you're not talking about.
I just get put up the bar. Ain't no bar, make a drum.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that they've done such a good job with hospitality and welcoming all people in.
Well, Samantha Moon.
So my name is Claudette Alona Peters.
I am Selena.
And then that's how it started. When I came home,
My name is Pumba, stage name, of course.
Well, I was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica.
I am Evelina Blanc.
I am a mother first. I think I'm a really wonderful friend. And a really great business.
I gotta be ready because you're like, oh, she picked that. No, I didn't.
Yep. I am Kendra Stephen.
I am Rena Charles, aka Mystery.
People forward in victory.
And welcome back to the program. And of course, like I said, we have a special guest today. This man is a legend. This man deserves like round of applause, standing ovation, and so many more flowers that we're definitely gonna make sure he gets it tonight. And he's been getting it all along. We welcome to you. This man is greater than a king, a prince, a princess of bouillon music. We call him the emperor of bouillon music. Ladies and gentlemen, the originator himself, Mr. Derick Rah Peters. Welcome to the show, Brad.
Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you have right where I was watching the program right now. We're gonna give thanks and praise for another day. You know, I feel so happy to be in good company and to see if we could talk about a couple of things that will elevate, educate, empower, uplift, inspire. Let's see if we could have a good conversation and exchange of words.
Facts.
Right.
Bring out a good vibe. So just giving thanks and praise and ready to give a good vibe out there. Basically.
So, usually we sit here and we ask people where they're from, and we ain't doing that today. The legend is here. Everybody knows who the legend is. What you been up to? How was the your time off, like I like to call it?
Oh well, right now, I'm not in DA right now. Take a little move out there in the Caribbean.
Right.
Flowing up a little bit. Digging a different vibe. Until when I get back home in the next couple of days, the next few days, to start back some work. Some different artists, some young artists coming up.
Right.
So that's why it is. And of course, working with my son on different projects, like he works with the likes of Colton T and um, so much others. Like I recall, he'll have to talk for himself because he have the catalog of people that he works with.
Right.
I just know from last that he was working in Colton,
Okay.
he dropped a couple of tracks there, he was
Okay.
mixing and producing for him. So
Right.
that's why I'm into it. So as soon as I get back home, is to
Back into it.
basically continue that mission,
Okay.
strengthen other people and to get the vibe going,
Right. So that's like I take it that's what you've been up to. I guess bringing the new, along with your son, obviously. I guess building the new foundation, the new kids.
Oh yeah, well it's basically that's the concept of Boya music actually, is to move from generation to generation, that is why it is, Boya music is one that bridges the generation gap,
Right.
From the ancestors to the unborn. You check me. So that's what we do to make sure the vibe stays in intact, and the message passes through. That is what we call the generational wealth. That's what we're really interested in, to make sure that stays firm. And as we as African descent, our history has been interrupted so many times, so we want to make sure that we keep that vibe that which we got, the message could pass within, of course, Boya music.
Right.
Yeah, have it going, so we could move from generation to generation because we really have a duty and a responsibility of, preserving that vibe and to make sure that it pass on properly, documented.
Nice.
Speaking of the mission, would you say that Bouillon has gone in in a direction that you, as one of the original pioneers of the genre, would you say that it has gone in a direction that you expected, anticipated, or even hoped for at this point?
Well, the way it is there, if I had a crystal ball or something like that, to see properly into the future and to have the capability and the ability to shape things the way I really want it. Maybe I'd do things a little differently, but again, the creator is the creator, and with the Most High, you cannot assume his position, but we just have to work with what's happening there now. But to see as if I totally satisfied, not totally satisfied, but still I feel a sense of achievement because, part of what I was thinking of is really happening. Is like the music passing from generation to generation. And to me, that is a major achievement to me. I mean, the amount of youths that into that and, everybody claiming to fame,
Right.
I feel, kind of a happy. And, as Bouillon would have the different moods, different lyrical content.
Right.
So some people may have the question, boy, the man is singing that, it's not nice, it this, it that. But again, as artists, we should understand that people can only bring out what they've got inside. So you have to allow people to be themselves. You could, especially if they ask for direction, you could help direct them. But some people decide, they want to learn by experience. As they say, experience is the greatest teacher. You let them go on. But if they seek, advice and your humble self, then you could, help direct and show, this is all going. But to say, I want to tell people to be a me, no, I think it's wrong because the creator make everybody unique. So now when they bring out their uniqueness, you could just ask them to be a better version of themselves, but no, you can't force them to be a novelist or whoever, or whoever,
Right.
Right.
Everybody have their uniqueness, and if we embrace our uniqueness and make a better version of ourselves, improve ourselves, we're not on a competition, we're on a mission, then, we're pretty much on our way. I think there's a lot to achieve, you know. So to back to the question, I mean, if I totally happy, not totally happy, but I still feel good because you know, you see, like other genres, you know, from the I don't want to point finger at any particular one, but now you'd see that it didn't have that continuity, it didn't have that growth, it didn't have that development.
Mhm.
But you could see Booyah Music have that vibe.
Right.
You see different youths coming in and the whole energy that they're bringing in there, you know what I mean? So you have to allow them, you know, to be themselves, you know.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I feel.
It's very good answer.
I would say that Booyah music basically speaks to a younger generation, and I want to speak on the outside. Obviously, you know, you guys creating the music have a different picture, but for me, being on the outside, I always felt like Booyah music was a music for not just the younger people, but it drives the younger people, right? Compared to other genres we have going on, right? So that's just my personal feel about it.
But right, you've probably been asked that before. Maybe I have even asked you that before. But at the stage we are in now, with everything that's happening around us, what do you think Dominica's music needs to build a stronger, a more robust, or a more cohesive music industry where make it to the point where certain artists do not really even need to have a main job, if you will, that just making music and publishing music could be their job. What do you think we need in Dominica specifically? And I mean, you can take it to the region as well, but I just feel like we don't have it the way it is in North America, for example. And I think a lot of talented artists, instead of being able to focus on their talent and their art, they have to leave it and go off and work a 9 to 5 and then come back. And that can sometimes hinder your creativity, that can hinder your movement forward. So, what do you think we need? Looking at the whole picture as the whole industry and maybe taking notes from the rest of the world, what do we need? All people need.
I think first of all, you know, it need to be organized. You need to be organized. Of course, and definitely you need this support, you know, because of course we have the tourism sector in Dominica, we have the cultural division, and the ministries of trade and all those kind of areas. All these need to really work together because now it affects and impacts all of them. I mean, the trade, the tourism. You know, right now we have you seen what's going on in the, you know, festivals is like the biggest thing in Dominica. Every nick and cranny, every little village have a village feast. So I think it's to definitely support the artists, you know.
Right.
The artists need to be supported and stuff like that. Instead of, you know, just running it out almost like a mafia gang where certain people eating all the time and all the people that stand up on the side. It's not that they haven't got no talent or they can't do the work, but it's just that, I mean, they're not offered and awarded the opportunity to showcase their talents. So we need to really organize it in terms of marketing, structuring, training, you know. So it really have to be looked at as an industry, and I think the government need to really show more, you know, strength behind that industry because they could see clearly what it's doing for Dominica. You know what I mean? They could see clearly what it's doing for Dominica. That's one of the biggest industry in Dominica right now. That's one of our biggest exports right now in Dominica, and it's been happening for a while.
Right.
I mean, so many guys going out there putting food on the table because of Booyah music.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's happening, but no, you know, it just need to be structured. I need to be organized, and we need people with the expertise because we need people with those like economists. We need lawyers, you know. We need, you know, all those little areas that
financing as well, right?
Right.
Oh, finance is one of the major thing. We just pass it just like that, but finance is one of the major things, you know. But again, now, when you have the finance and you cannot really manage the finance properly, you know, you'll end up in a lot of problems. So that's why he wasn't really stressing too much on the finance. But now, if you have the management and those kind of a thing in place, now the finance would really get you there, because I mean, no use you have all those kind of a thing and it doesn't have any money involved. When you talk about lawyers, we talk about money.
Right.
When we talk about managers, we talking about money. When we talk about trading, you know, because for instance, we have guys now, praise God, that we have people that self-taught, and you're amazed at the kind of things that they do, and people that maybe go and get all kind of a formal training,
right,
that they don't even have that sort of skill.
Yeah, the drive is not there anymore.
Yeah, they don't have that skill.
Yeah, but the drive is not there.
Yeah, they don't have that skill, because no, like for instance, my youth man, I'm watching a guy, you know, and some people tell me, boy, this guy learned a lot of things from you. Maybe. But though the kind of things that the guy is doing there, myself there, I have to sit down and pull my chair and learn my lessons.
Right.
And he's self-taught, you know. He does his research, he goes into his stuff, and you know. But no, take for instance, coupled with that he had some, you know, serious kind of a formal kind of a training. You've seen the kind of a things that go. I mean, he could already achieve, and I think he's not only the only one there, but I mean, the amount of producers we have in Dominica, the amount of artists that we have in Dominica right now, you know, it really needs, you know, to organize. And I mean, thank God that for people like you that could create that kind of a platform, people like JL, I watch them, I see the kind of work they do. You know, I see some people now, their whole aim and objective is to try to cramp other people's style, you know. And of course, I already appreciate that, because my whole vibe is to bring in as much people in the industry to get it rolling, because now, you know, is united we stand and divided we fall, you know.
Right.
I mean, back in the early days, you know, I know people like novelists, people, you know, clockers, and they had quite a few other crews going on there, and we decided, you know, to assist these guys to get the vibe going. Of course, furthermore, apart from you know, one or two other bands I was in there, actually brought in a lot of different people, and I mean, a lot of finance was really channeled in that kind of a way to make sure, you know, we could talk about different people like some guys in Triple K, people like Joffrey, people like Heads, you know, make sure bring them on, Alicia, you know, and the names are so much, you know, sometimes I just like forget some names, to bring them in to make sure that the industry survive. Because now I hear a lot of people saying, oh yeah, we collaborate, you know, we're bringing in this and we're bringing that, and I figure, well, you know, these guys maybe didn't do their research to find out exactly the kind of a sacrifice that people make. Because now, you know, that amount of money that I put in there, because novelists would have seen me different places in the States, in Canada, maybe wherever, bringing certain people on the vibe, and it didn't come like just go and collect some sand by the sea and use it as currency. You check, it didn't work like that, you know. It was like serious hard cash, and I spent a lot of money, I personally. And some people may find, well, you know, you talk about like you're blowing your own trumpet. My analogy to that would be like, yes, I maybe have to blow my own trumpet. Why? Because, you know, imagine a trumpet now, you have your mouthpiece, but you're blowing in that, you know, and you send saliva and all kind of stuff in that. If you tell a partner to come and blow your trumpet for you, you want to do it, because you have saliva and all that. So you have no choice but to blow your trumpet.
I had a friend who used to say, who else do you want to blow my trumpet? If I don't blow my trumpet, who's going to do it for me? No one's going to do it for you. So
you know,
by all means, you know, and so this is the place to do it, by the way. If you want to, if you want to claim your crowns or whatever, Dissect is the place.
The thing is, about the crown thing there, I mean, the crown belongs to the Most High, because anything that I do, I do it for His glory. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I not like the best out there, and I don't claim no, as if without seeing nothing like that. I just do my best and try to make a better version of myself every time. And
Right.
one of the most important thing is to love in the Most High with all your heart and soul, and to loving for your brother what you love for yourself. You know what I mean? That
Very
kind of
true.
a way there, so people can really elevate, because I come from the time of the Black Power movement, and of course the Rastafari movement and the Islamic movement. So it's just always a kind of a communal kind of a vibes that I have. It's as I rise to make other people rise. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how I feel we can really achieve. Is cooperate and collaborate. You know what I mean? Make it happen.
Right.
So that's why the whole vibe was to bring in as much people as I could, or as we could, in the vibe, to make it grow. And really and truly, I really feel happy, to see that everybody is claiming, oh yeah, that's mine, because that's what I want them to do. Let them see yourself in the vibe. It's like it's them, it's them, and it really is them. I want to fight them and say, no, it's not you. No, you feel it's you. Yes, it's you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's you. Go ahead.
No, we get that. We get
Yeah.
what you're saying. We get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's always good to remain humble, and you definitely do that. But at the same time, as we were talking backstage, I believe that people who have contributed to our society in whatever capacity, whether it's grand or whether it's minuscule, whether it's small or big, we have to give them and recognize them for their work, especially if what they've done impacts an entire nation. I mean, you guys, you specifically, because we're talking to you now, you created a movement that impacted the nation for what now, 40 years?
Yep.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Which is almost as old as the nation itself.
Yep.
So we cannot go on not recognizing that. And, you and everyone else who had a hand in it. But as I said, as we are talking to you now, I'm telling you that now, that we have to recognize you, and not recognize you after you've gone to the great beyond where you can't hear us anymore.
Facts.
And personally, I think we wait too long to do that.
Well, the thing is that I always see, India, and maybe extend it to the Caribbean and maybe to the world. Like, to me personally, I find they like dead people. When you're dead, they come with flour, and you can't make a bakes, can't make a cake, you can't make nothing with that flour.
Exactly.
Basically, they just go and lay that flour, and you can't meal it. Basically, yeah. So I think what you're saying there have a lot of truth to it. And sometimes, as you rightfully say, you can't just be going there, blah, 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 blah. People say, well, they fed up with you. It's like as if you're coming like a menace. Reject. As some other people have to recognize the vibe, because you know that, what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
What other people brought to the table, what I personally have brought to the table. And it's just like saying, like, we have square pegs in the wrong hole, and I mean the WRNG, wrong hole, you check, and not just round hole with square pegs. We have certain people in certain positions, and I really think they not really functioning the way they're supposed to function.
Right.
I hope and I pray that other people like minds like yours would be in certain positions to really make the vibe roll, because to me, it's like people that never really made no kind of a significant contribution to certain things. They're in certain position, and as if they use that now to show their authority, to show their power, and not really giving, the people and them that really contributed to lift up the vibes, so they in itself could strengthen others. It's like they take you and they want to trash you on a side. And I've seen that happen so many times. So that's why I just have to be, basically watching the show sometimes, because what am I going to do? Make a set of noise, rumble, be, all angry with myself, drinking poison and expect other people to die.
It's a very good point.
Really that doesn't really happen. So, some people that of like minds that understand better, of one for a better word, comprehend, what we're really doing is to step forward, and maybe we should form like an independent body to take care of that, because if you really have to wait on government, really and truly, I see the government actually just like taking a kicks, like we see, they're taking you for a lavabo, and when I really see, I see a lavabo and use it loosely, but it's when I went to Curacao, I understand what was a lavabo,
What is it?
I see what that is, what is a lavabo. You check me, and I find, you cannot be taking people for wizard, using the music now and weaponizing the music, because I see a lot of that happening. And I mean, I think it's totally wrong. Where people use the music and weaponize it, because people love it, they say, okay, that's a good way. Let's just take advantage of them by just giving them, is that they like, just give it to them, and no matter in what kind of a form, no matter what, so that's why we need people that comprehend the scene to get together and to get the thing moving in a more positive way, give it more positive direction. As I said before, different artists, you can't tell them exactly what to do. But now, if we start to have little seminars and little lectures, help them and give them direction, then we could get positive. Because you don't, after a couple of years, you're watching your works and chicken boy, like Lord Shorty had say back in the day with the soca thing. He say, boy, if I had to live my life over, I'd never make those kind of songs, So when you make songs, you want to be proud of your stuff. Certain things that you do, you want to be proud of it. When you turn back, you feel, wow,
longevity.
Did a good thing. You check me?
It lasting, and you want your children to be proud as well. If you don't have them,
because you don't make a track next thing now, you think and you say but grandpa, what kind of a song you make them? Well, I didn't know better. I just was doing that, just like you don't want that kind of a situation there. You want to when grandpa, you have make that song, that is for you and for you to pass on to your children and your children and your children, because it's something positive on that. Because at the end of the day, I mean, some people use music for just pure entertainment, which is okay, having fun. But in my time, when I grew up, basically, music was passing messages. Passing messages and passing certain vibes. Spiritual upliftment, education, living liberty, that is what it was, stories that could help you to be a better person, to direct your life, to uplift you, I mean, everybody can't be the same, everybody can't be doing the same thing.
Of course not.
Basically, that is what it was. I remember listening to songs, basically, was when I listened to a song, there was a story in it, there's some kind of a moral in it, there's some kind of a spiritual upliftment in it that's going to give me some direction, Remember when you had tracks like Children Leave What They Learned, I mean, even the dull and the ignorant, they still have this story, lyrics like that, to really inspire,
I had a conversation not so long ago. We were talking about the generation, like the gaps between the generations, and I looked at the person and I said, all this, like, this is exactly what you're mentioning right now, Ra. And you mentioned clockers earlier, and I look at them and I said, this is our fault. And what I meant by our fault, I don't mean like clockers itself, but in clockers era, because you're right. I would not call out bands to put them on blast, but one and maybe the only band The only Booyah band that was supportive of Clockers was WCK. WCK actually, we recorded in the studio, actually backed this up and everything. The other bands, we always had some altercations with them for some reason, right? And I get it. They didn't want, young boys singing whatever, and they sing what they're doing, right? So I think that's where the trouble started, because people around my age, I think we were angry to the point where we could not go there and just record, and we couldn't just do this and do this, right? Like I said, WCK, like literally, I can call the name Keith Cornell and Rap from WCK helped us, and apart from that, you don't get help. So what it does is just it makes you angry against everybody else, because you're like, okay, if I can go to Sam and Sam not gonna help me out as somebody that's in the industry, well, I'm just gonna take it on my own and do what I want. What does that determine? I'm gonna say F word and S word and all these things that never been done on music before. I'm gonna do it now because I'm angry, and this is where we are today. So I really think this started with our generation, not taking what we learned from the elders and bringing it down, and now everybody's just pretty much just doing whatever they feel like, and figure they do not have to respect where the art from started. So
But you see, that's the other thing that's very important, because no, had it not been for the ancestors that came through the Atlantic all the way from Africa, right? I came down with all that vibe in them, with the rhythm, with the lyrical content, with the melodies, with the chants.
right.
It is that get passed down to us.
Yep.
No, right now you have a situation where some people are very happy to say, "Oh, come on there, you're old. Give young people a chance." But no, it have a little parable that goes like that, and it's in Creole. Tiko shala di ka pale ba mama koshon like di mama kuma fe jelo tellement long kosa mama la di tanto. Translation:
Yeah.
the mother pig and the little pig. The little pig watching mother and telling mother, "Oh, how comes it mouth so long like that?"
Right.
It's looking ugly for big long mouth. Because now it's young and it mouth nice and it's
Small,
not that
right.
long.
Right.
So the mother says, take your time. You'll
time.
find out. Because you may be young right now, but when a year pass for me, at my age, a year pass for you too. When 2 years pass for me, it passed for you as well because you done born already. That's why people never ask you how young are you. They ask you how old you are. So that means from the time you're born, you're old.
Yeah.
So we have to understand those kind of a vibes there, right? And understand, life is a stage.
Right.
And it have stages, it have different areas, it have different times, it have different vibes. So we have to really live the Booyah concept and know that it's a music that bridges the generation gap.
Right.
We do creating no gap. We're bridging that. So it's moving from generation to generation. That's why I always talk about the ancestors. That's why I get the inspiration from the Most High and the ancestors.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I already watch myself. I call myself king. I've been inspired. I know the creator. The creator is the creator. I'm not going to take his place.
Nice.
I'm going to thank him for inspiring me because it's by pure inspiration. It's from Liquor Youth.
Yeah. Right.
I have that vibe in me. So he didn't take WCK to give that to me. He did not only WCK to be very.
That was the vehicle, but it's,
yes. So I passed through that thing because I have all the areas that I passed through was very, very important to me. A group called Harambe with Natalie Charles, right? Natalie Charles was up in Canada as well, studying together with people the likes of Rosie Douglas, right? So when she had her experience because of the Black Power movement and came back to Dominica because of certain situations she found herself in, she was in the university. She had to come back to Dominica because of the whole Black Power vibes and whole long story. We don't have to go through all the details.
Yeah.
And she came back to DA, but no, she was a close family member. And she made that group Harambe. By that time, I was maybe about like 7 years old when I was part of that group. So now I was into that movement there, that awareness. And my queen come from Rosalie. Rosalie is the slave plantation of people like Bala, the Maroon. You check. So my queen was very tribal, So And I had the opportunity from small to always touch base going to the country. So I had the experience of Rosalie, River Syric, and Grand Fork. Check. And I had the opportunity before they had lights.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's Bullseye and
Kerosene lamp.
and Label and Lalo.
Right.
And crack and those kind of things. That was the kind of vibe, and going Sus and them kind of a thing there.
Right.
You know? So all that, and L'Histoire and, you know, Tim and them kind of a thing, and learning certain songs. My queen came down to town when she was like young, like 7 years old. You know, so we were always connected with the countryside.
Right.
You know, so we had that vibe in us, you know. And of course, after that, I went on being part of People's Action Theatre. Of course, I did some stuff with Raymond Lawrence with his group Kubuli dancers and stuff like that, you know. So that was always in me. That was part of me. I grew up, I started playing like 2 years old. Nobody teach me nothing. I was just playing. So, and it was like pure inspiration. And I knew that I was going to do something different in music. You know, as a youth growing up, I wasn't fully aware of what was the vibe. I just see I was doing things on automatic. That's why today my daughter was telling me about, Daddy, reincarnation. I'd be like, yeah, reincarnation. Okay, what are you talking about? You know, so I just listening to her. She told me, well, you know, it's like it was there already, and you know, I say, yeah, that's what you're thinking. And we have conversations like that, you know, and it's the vibe. You know, it's the connection. I tell her, yes, it's the spirits of the ancestors that you're feeling right now. That's why you're saying those kind of things. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I had in me. And nobody teach me to play drums. As a matter of fact, I couldn't get a drum set.
Right.
What I had was little percussions. I didn't name those percussions at the time because they're just like 2 years old.
Right.
And I find any kind of a thing that could make a song. I'll get like, you know, little, you know, pots, pans, cups, the enamel cups, and be like playing on that. Of course, we were up by the riverside, River Street, you know. So, you know, how many steel bands there? So steel band was really prevalent in there. And of course, like with, because I raised up from Liquor Youth going Carnival, because look River Street, look the Carnival. And back in the day, Roseau was like a village. So before you step out already, Carnival already had no kind of a main road. Anyway, pass to place Carnival. Once you're in the village, that is it.
That's
passing that road until when they decide, okay, they make it a route. Where is that? And you cannot go in that other street, or you can't go in that other street.
Okay.
But that was why it is, you know. So this thing, you know, is like a natural kind of a vibe to me. I didn't even know that I was gonna call it Bouillon. It's like in the development, you know, I just came up with the name, you know, when my daughter in Guadeloupe, her sisters, you know, came down at time, you know, to hear the music playing, you know. So I was in the early 90s. She said, what music are you playing there, man? I said, whoa. Because it's something different, you know, why it is. I'd be like, you send me in thinking mode. I say, I had a couple names for it, you know, but I'll give it a name. But it was on a show with Raymond Lawrence. I think he was studying back in the day, you know, so many states or wherever he was. And he had a program, that Saturday morning program, and he invited me. So he said, how you calling that music? Because that music have a vibe with it. I tell him, well, after, you know, wrecking my brain, I say, Bouillon.
Right.
I say Bouillon because on Bouillon have all different things.
Mixtures.
Right.
Yeah. It's a one pot, you know, a potpourri, you know, one pot, you know, it's
everything,
like yeah, it's like a broth. You check, because we have two, you know, making the soup and it are the broth.
Right.
It's more or less go for fish. Sometimes people jump in a little pigtail in that, and the soup, you know. So people put their little chicken in that, but it's almost the same thing, you know. But one more creamy and one more watery. You check me? So I decide, well, you know, and the main thing in the bouillon is the sauce.
Yeah.
When everything boil on in it is the sauce. Is that is the real vibes. And some people were claiming, I remember a time guy would tell me, boy, oh, bouillon is for pigs, because back in the day when I was going to the country, they were used to make the bouillon and say that's for the pigs.
Right.
The skin and the fig skin and all kind of a thing, and mix that down and they put it for the pigs. But now we as youths, we used to drink the bouillon.
Right.
We used to drink it because now you have all dashing, you have yam, you have all kind of a thing, and the water well flavored, so you're drinking that, and there's where the real thing is. Some people throw that away, but no, actually you're throwing away the sauce. You're throwing away the mucus. So basically, that's how the name came by. you know. But now again, we mix up all the different genres because Love Novelist and them, you know, came through, you know, and created that addition to the thing. But before that, some of the guys that wanted to be part of it, I can't remember each of them name, but you know, that Charles girl there, the one for Charles the pharmacist, she met me and she told me, well, she has some youths. That man was like 10, 11 years old, and you know, come and listen to those guys. I come and listen to those guys. I say, yes, man, that can work. So some of them was doing, you know, reggae kind of hip hop, R&B, you know, they was doing that kind of a thing. But no, I wasn't really so much acquainted with clockers at the time. But them youths came to me and they tell me what I'm at. And I said, we're fine, you know. But at the time, no, we were playing in places like place next to warehouse there.
Good times.
Yeah. Good time.
And people like Skinny would come on, and I even know Skinny like that, you know. We pass the mic, you know, different man, Humpty, different guys, you know. Humpty was from Posse, passing the mic, you know, because I know that vibe, that style can work with the whole formula, you know. So pass the mic for him. But that time, when we used to do that session there, people like Cornell were gone because like who used to be staying around, it was more or less like Marshall Bois on the machine, Keith doing the bass, and I used to be doing the drums and so, you know, and percussions, whatever, and plus the vocals. When I'm at Call My Chicken, always a time for me to just free up and thing and just back up them guys. So man like Skinny would come on the mic. So how I get to know Skinny was Skinny. I remember when Skinny was born, but I never know why he looked like growing up. So his mom meet me and his mom Angel tell me, boy, you must put my son on the scene. I say, who's your son? Who's Wayne? Wayne Skinny. I say, Skinny is your boy? Don't worry that, man. I'll take care of that. Take care of Skinny, man. I check. And, you know, Skinny started to come around more. And, of course, I welcome him even more because I know his mom. I know his mom for a long time. Yeah, so I said, well, yeah, that's it. And that was the whole vibe because to make that thing really survive, you have to pull people in. Imagine WCK alone want to play a genre of music. It's not possible.
That would be crazy, right?
Right? That cannot work. That is not part of the formula.
Right.
So the more people we can have coming in, you know. So even when I did the other band, Raw Rhythm, you know, I bring in the Richards guy. What's your name again? Novelist help me.
Richard.
The Richards thing, man. Oh, why name now? In Guadeloupe. He was part of Clockers though.
Oh, Cabral, yeah.
Cabral.
Yes.
How you call him again? Sky.
Sky, yes.
Sky, yeah. So I brought him in Raw Rhythm because I checked him well, you know. We need that element.
Right.
You know. So all that, you know, develop the vibes, you know, to bring it to what it is right now. So you see fellas taking the vibes and they running, they have the whole hot bomber boo you're trying to run escalated benefit. It's not possible. They let burn. You know, because remember is a watery stuff.
Right.
Liquid, you know, so when you run in the fit, it will be bubbling, you know. So you just have to enjoy the show. You just have to enjoy it and everybody hot.
If you try to run, it's burn you. Well,
actually,
somebody
is hot. You know,
someone is saying that I'm loving how you are dissecting the thing. And they are also asking, are you involved in the junior bouillon development? If that's a thing, I don't know.
Yeah, well, actually, you know, what's happening there, you know, that's something that we really wanted to work on because it had a guy that he really had an interest in pushing the bouillon, developing the bouillon, but now I think he missed that idea and he work with other people because now he awarded them a lot of money. Like for instance, Colin won twice, and you know, that was like anyway, long story by itself.
Right.
My view was kind of a different on that, and but I see, you know, I don't know if it's the Rotary, I don't know if it's Rotary or whoever, some or JCs or whatever they are, some group of them. I think maybe the JCs, I'm not too sure.
They don't
but no, they doing the kind of a junior monarch and they slide in now the bouillon, the junior, which is a brilliant because now I think You have to start with the youths. If you want any kind of a thing to develop, make sure you have the youths involved, because that's the generational wealth. That's the secret. That's the whole vibe. You have to get them involved. You take them from kindergarten and develop them. So now, as you were saying now and asking a question, I work with the first one, the guy that did won the first time. What's his name?
I can't remember the kid name.
Yes, he won the first year, right?
Yeah.
Josiah, King Josiah.
Yeah.
And the second year, which was last year, this year, I jumped into 2025 already. Into the future already.
Right.
Back to the future. So that chick from the PSS won.
Right.
But however, no, I working with that particular one that won the first time.
Right, Josiah.
Because I started working with him from SMP. Of course, we work with the other teachers that was at SMP. They work with him. But now that he come out at SMP, you know what, the Goodwill Secondary, I worked with him last year. And he approached me again to work with him. There's a few other people that asked me to work with them and to give them whatever help that I can, So I'll always reach out and strengthen, because now, that's part of my duties and responsibilities.
Right.
Once they reach out to me, then I have the resource, whatever it may be, that I can work with them. Yeah.
Nice. So we skip a whole generation and now you're helping the kids. I like that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we've been always working with, because I was working for other independent group called Carryman, and I had a program working with the youths. So I had a set working on drums, some working on keyed guitar, some working on the bass, keyboards, and the other section we had to work on was to do the vocals and recording. But we never got to that, because here come the hurricane and they just smash everything. And I'm not too sure exactly how Carryman is really operating right now, because when Mr. Thomas Holmes was really at the helm, he was really working, because he got the program, he got something in sports, he got music, I think somewhere in home business, I don't know how they call that, I don't know really how they describe it, but not to deal with like home management, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how to run your house and that kind of a thing. So we had that program. So one in sports, one in music. So I was doing the music section.
Right.
So we were working with the youths and them. So I had different tutors, tutoring. So it wasn't me doing everything. I was just coordinating it.
Right.
So that is a thing that we really take seriously, because I didn't have somebody to really tutor me in that kind of a way, and really have a group that I could really go to. It's like self-taught, and certain people that I was seeking on my own, certain friends of mine, that's why I end up with. But now if we can create that platform, for the youths and them to develop, then
Well, I was gonna ask if there is a plan for some kind of official music school that would teach, that kind of thing in Dominica, because I know we used to have the Kyrie School of Music, but that's kind of like the one and only.
Yeah.
And that wasn't its focus, right? It wasn't focused on bouillon and that kind of those kinds of genres. So do you think that, or do you see maybe even you yourself looking at doing something like that in the?
Well, I've started, but now, as you know, I had a serious setback because I lose all my stuff during the hurricane. So I kind of are rebuilding right now, and it's kind of a tough, because as you would know that after the hurricane there was donations made to the powers that be, or the organizations that be, to really pass on the goods, and which they never did. They never did. They take a lot of information, a lot of statistics, a lot of data, a lot of whatever you may want to call it. How much children you have, how how much boys, how much girls, what's
They
your
have the
age range,
numbers, but
how
they're
much
not bringing in.
grandfather, how much this, how much you put in the house, and all kind of arbitrary question, and how much stuff you lose, and all kind of a thing. And they had the money. You know, it happened during COVID, it happened during Maria, and it happened with Erica. They got the funds, and they refused to let it go. Then they come with that kind of a vibes that you have to go to the bank to get that money, but that money was grant. You check, it was a grant, and it
I
was
remember.
to the people, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of dirtiness that went on there, and I really do appreciate it. And after they come wrong, they're pinching like a thing, and after they tell you, oh, you can go and take a loan in a bank, and this money is supposed to be a grant. You check me. So you know, I think that's why, you know, people like you and others that have that kind of a mind, I think they should reach out, you know, because I don't know exactly what's your, you know, your expertise. I don't know what's your areas of resource, you know, not only finance, but in knowledge, you know, that we could help to organize. Because I've been crying for that for years. And as they say, you know, no man is an island, you know. Is united we stand and divided we fall, you know, and I've been crying for years. And you know, some guys, instead of helping me, they were more or less like criticizing and pulling down and fighting down. And I'm not just crying about it arbitrarily like that. It's because I feel it, my soul cry, you know, I cry inside, because instead of they come and help, they were just criticizing and going on social media and doing all kind of a bullshit. And I fight to myself, you know, after all, you know, you do see what I'm doing, man. Yourself had an impact. It impacted you personally, and you taking time off for you to, you know, pull me down in that kind of a way and laughing, ha ha ha, as if it's really funny. You know?
See, the problem is not about the idea. The problem is that you have the idea or you have the mission and you see the need, and so they want to avoid supporting you because you will naturally get the credit. That's, at least in my mind, that's the motivation.
Well, it's not about credit, you know. I think it's more about debit.
Yeah, I know, right? That's not what
you have it. You have it in hand, you know. You have it in hand, you know.
For you, that's not what it is about, but for others, that's what it is about to them. That
but it's just sad. So that's why we need a form of purification. We definitely need a form of purification to really clean that out, because now it's poisoning the minds of the younger generation, because some of them they gravitate into that negative kind of a vibe, that kind of a selfishness, that kind of a greed, that kind of a hatred, and so much of that is really plaguing us in Dominica. I mean, right now we have a situation in Dominica, you know, if you're not on that side, you know, you getting squeezed because you're not on that side. And if you're on that side, and what is that? You know, it's really terrible. It's terrible down there. It's terrible, and I really don't enjoy it, to be honest. You have families divided because of that nonsense. You know what I mean? You see politics and religion, Dread. You check me? I think, you know, best we just go with our kind of a normal kind of a vibe, where we just look out for each other, we strengthen one another, we empower one another, we educate one another, you know, we uplift one another, those kind of elements that we really need. You know, instead of going, oh, you're not for us. You know, what is that? It's DA we pushing, you know.
Right.
It's DA we pushing. Let's push the vibe, you know, let's uplift one another. Let's, you know, get it going. Otherwise, we're just there. As you rightfully say, you know, maybe one say, well, yes, Mr. Komoda, he'll get the praise. But it's not about our praise. All the praises belong to the Most High.
Amen.
Not to me. I don't want the praise. The praise belong to the Most High. All the glory belong to the Most High. And the ancestors that make the you know, the sacrifice, you know, to get us here, you know. So let's do that in their honor, you know. And I don't think they will be really happy of us being divided.
Where we
as
are right
we dissecting, but no, we don't to dissect too much where we just losing ourselves.
Right.
You know?
Right. We don't want to. What did the hunter say? Tiwe boy, you want me to pie? We don't want to do that.
Yeah, man. Yes.
I don't know if I don't know if none of you have any other questions before we get to quick hitters, but I do have a question I say I must ask you.
No, I don't necessarily have a question, but like I will go back to the first thing you did say, that we respect the dead more than we respect the ones that's alive, because I mean, you've done so much for the music. I mean, I look at Triple K, the new CK, a lot of these new bands, a lot of these artists, and they all went through you some way somehow, right? And yeah, everybody's living off the glory, which is good, but I don't hear the respect. I don't hear the big up. I don't hear the this is where it started. I don't hear that. And it's not just you. I mean, I could put Chobi in that conversation too, right? So here we have icons in our island or in our country, and we just kind of like give a blind eye to it. So take this time out to give you all the flowers that you need, my friend. You know what I mean? Look at how I've turned out in life. And I'm a product of you, right? I listened to you from I was 10 years old. I am 40 something now. So thank you. And that's all I got to say.
But I want to say thank you because, when people show some form of gratitude, it really goes a long way, to just say thank you. If somebody hold the door for you,
Yeah.
as you're coming out, you have how many bags in your hand, they hold the door for you, just say thank you.
That's it.
It's okay, A person tell you, okay, it's not nothing. But no, the mere idea that you tell them thank you, is when they say it don't mean nothing, it's just that, they're so happy that you tell them, they say, oh, it's not nothing, but really and truly, they're really happy that you tell them.
Yeah, of course.
So you're quite right, and so many other people, so many other people that benefited, one way or another from the works that I did and have been doing. But yet, they don't say thanks, but no, you can't force the thanks out of them.
No.
You can't force it out of them. They refuse to say thanks, well, it's okay, Yeah.
It comes from the
sky
heart.
is all in your eyes, so what goes around comes around.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
how it is.
I mean, Novels said it best. You may not be seeking the recognition, but you deserve it. Anyway, before we have a very short time left, but I do want to ask you this question. So answer it as quickly as you can, your honest opinion. What do you think about the current wave of AI tools that are being released or used to make music?
Whoa, well, technology and the way of life, it's been changing. Before, we get coals, put that, get the wood, get the thing, put the coal to or do whatever so it could make the coal to light the fire. Now you just crack a match, you check, the gas gone. Sometimes they're wasting time now. They go to the supermarket, they get the thing full that in the microwave. Whoosh, food. You check me? So now it's left to people now to decide, boy, they're sticking with the natural ways, the natural processes, whatever. And you cannot stop the world from spinning.
That's right.
It's so funny. I mean, when the drum machine come, people say, oh, they playing drum machine, that is the thing, there was what and what, drum machine. You check. Okay, it go to drum machine, it go to computer, it go, is records. Then you had CDs.
Yeah.
You had cassette before that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had a floppy disk. Mm-hmm. Then you have all kind of a microchip. So some of the technology I not even I'm going on with it as it go on. So I trying to catch the vibe. The work is not gonna wait for you. Like Scary was saying, you tell them no, don't worry about the fridge, where you can press this thing and get the ice.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Get your old tray and old
Make
tin,
your eyes.
a rusty tin too, and put it in your fridge and make your ice and prick it and so on.
Oh,
You kill
God.
people with rusty water. Too cool. So so some people like good thing for themselves. The only best thing because you sail straight. You don't want to live in a foul house. So I guess the house you have in a foul house. So and you don't eat kai. You want to eat tuna and them kind of things.
Yeah.
But kai
Dolphin.
is still good.
Man.
So that's how it is. I mean, the technology will change.
Yeah.
And the world is not going to stay there waiting for it. They're going to stand still.
Right.
So it's left to people to decide, they're not going fully with all kind of technology that happening. They want some of the natural stuff.
Right.
Because, life is a cycle, things just recycle, right?
Nothing new under the sun.
Right, so, I mean, at time, keyboards, synthesizer back in the day when it last time it was also synthesizer. Then after reggae started to dominate. It was drum and bass. So different at the time it was like brass. Back in the day, the early days, the swing time, it was a lot of brass. So it's different times. Different times and technology changing. Before a phone. When Neural had say, with his rotary dial and rotary phone, you pick it up and you tell somebody, many Belgrade fruit. You check, everybody laugh. Tell them to laugh Neural now because you have your phone now with a video on it.
Right.
I still see why back in the day, but just now they'll make your TV that you can work with. The phone is a TV.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a big long camera on your neck, your phone. The high quality of a phone now, the camera on the phone. Before people used to be doing all kind of a big kind of a video thing, they're carrying some kind of a stuff there. Right now, you just have your phone.
Yep. Technology.
You used to listen to news on CNN and all kind of a thing. Right now, you just watch social media and you're getting all your news and you're getting better news. They might have to copy ordinary man doing. So you see all the technology, you cannot, fellas making their own movie, fellas picking up their little iPhone or whatever they have CapCut, they're making their thing, they doing all that kind of stuff. So the technology will change, so it's just we know that have to understand how we're managing it, so such is the way of life, Yep.
Yeah, full disclosure, I didn't tell you before asking you that question that I'm a proponent of the AI thing. Well, I wouldn't say proponent, but I love the idea. And the reason is that unlike you, I can't teach myself to play music. I don't have that talent or I don't have that inspiration to play music or to sing.
Yeah.
But I think I can write a decent song. So, and you can't always get people to sing what you write. So I've used the AI to make a few songs, but so I've seen people complain about it and they're scared that AI is going to replace a real artist. That will never happen. AI will never replace a person like you, for example. It'll never replace an actual drummer. It'll never replace an actual singer. It can imitate and it can, but so I think that musicians, especially in Dominica, they should embrace the technology. And as when you talked about when the drum machine came in, I was thinking the same thing. I was on Cecil Joseph's program and I mentioned the very same thing.
Yeah.
That when this technology came into effect, people for drummers were going up, there'd be no more drummers. This would replace them. And that has never happened.
Right.
So But as you say that, and I spoke about it before, I think the whole AI thing, as you know, because I guess you're better knowledgeable than me in that field, that is based of collecting data and is a way of making data banks, so you have certain information that you can access and the computer have a way of analyzing and collecting certain information. So it still takes the human being to be there to feed it,
Yeah,
so
it
it's
cannot
like a baby can't grow on its own. like that without the mother or the father feeding it. So
Yeah.
basically, call the human beings like the mother and the father of AI,
Very
and we're
correct.
feeding it
Very
basically for
correct.
it to grow.
Yeah, it
You
can
know,
only
so
do
yeah.
what you tell it to do. It can't.
Yeah,
do
so you know,
otherwise.
I think you cannot stop something like that because it's there already. You just have to work with it. You
Yeah.
know.
And I'm saying that I brought it up with you specifically because I'm hoping that our people will see it as a way to move forward, a way to help them build themselves and move the industry in a a better direction, if you will. Not lose sight, because it's really when it comes down to it, it's really just a tool.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's how people choose to use it.
Exactly.
Much like any other tool, a hammer is meant to pound nails. Some people have
Yep.
used hammers to do awful things.
Yep.
Right.
So it's not the tool, it's who's using it and their
Yep.
motive. But anyway,
As they say, though what the man and the things it can do, what the tool and the thing it can do, what the man that behind it.
that's right.
So it's like a man up behind it, because I see my youth man as well take some poor stuff, and what he get out of it, I chicken, whoa. So if you get a real thing, I could imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, we had an old computer, the man had that from since 2013, and the guy fight with that computer until when it died a natural death. It died a natural death. He tell me that it just cannot help itself. It cannot do anything else. It go to Shiba. He tried. I watch him and I really feel sorry. I should just run in the room and hide myself because I chicken boy, I know you need another computer. But at the time, how things was running there, I just couldn't get, because I really wanted to get, top of the line Apple for him, So basically, that's the kind of a vibe. Yeah. So you talking about the technology, I done with you because I see a vibe, and that's why we need people like you, and I cannot really overemphasize that, to really fall in line, because the industry needs people like you.
And I think it needs all of us.
That's why I say people like you, all of us, meaning, for instance, people may say, oh, this man is not a musician, so what do you want to tell me about, the songing, right? But no, remember, no, it have listeners.
That's right.
The music, make it for people to listen. And it's not for other musicians just to listen because they'll be saying, oh, Mr. play that A flat. Yeah, you should put a sharp instead. Check the A minor. But hearing that, you're just hearing the voice and that note do really hugging, something wrong somewhere. It's singing awful. The pitch, something not right. The frequency not hitting properly.
There are some people who always off key.
Exactly.
They're the biggest artists,
that's where you have Mr. AI, taking that down and putting that back.
They're the biggest artists, but to me, they always off key. So
right. So that's why you see some artists now, they good at in the studio, and when they put them on live, now they jump in because they can just entertain it. Everybody put their hand in the air, jump.
Yeah.
By the time you do song playing, whatever, it's just like Elephant Man had come down the time. And climbing up the pole and he's singing. He's singing, but he climbing up the pole. How will that happen in there?
Right.
Check the machine singing and he climbing up the pole. I check him out with a while and he forget himself, man. Because after when you realize why you jump back down and you hold the mic, So it was really, it was really freaky when I watched that. When I watched it, I'd be like, wow,
but I'm sure that went over the head of many people.
A lot of people didn't realize that, But the average DA person, right? If you're going to house of 5 in the year, right? About a good 3 know about music.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
About a good 3 know about music.
Yep.
Because we just like talented naturally. The average person can just sing, they can just write, they can just play an instrument, or do some sport or something. It's just that we don't have the facilities now to
that's true
to really help them to get it on a professional level.
Very unfortunate.
That's why it is. Yeah. So we there's the kind of a help that we need. That's the type of help that we need to really develop the talents. You check. Because that's why I make this song to show to Flamino. I say so many things we had, we cannot count one. When you tell some story, stretch them so.
Yeah.
Look at them, can you believe? Is the type of life we live? You know? Because we have so much talent. But again, no, we just need the vibe to really showcase it and to really push it, publicize it to, you know. And as I said already when you spoke earlier, you have the tourism ministry, you have the one of trade, you have the one of culture. What are they really doing? Don't they understand these things fall right under their portfolio, or was a big terminology word for that? You check me? Doesn't that fall right under their responsibilities, their ministry? You know what I mean? So we really need to shake this thing up and get some people in the right positions so we can move, you know, effectively and efficiently, you know, in my little humble opinion. You know? Yeah.
I would agree with you on that 100%. Our people, for some strange reason, support is like the hardest thing for us.
Yeah, because that's what I say to myself, you know, the support, you know, the support is very important, you know, and you know, to really get going, you know, because I seen, you know, it really hurts, you know. I seen certain people in certain positions and it just doesn't go down good with me. They use that to just like show off themselves. Oh yeah, I can squeeze you there. I can, you know, you're not with us. We know you're voting for, or we know you know what I mean? What is that at all? You know? Then we want to know that's a democracy or whatever.
Right.
I must ready a democracy, you know? Or democracy. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Democracy.
Democracy. I don't know what it is. Check me.
It's about selfishness.
It's your right to choose if you like that party or you don't like that party, or you know what you want to support. So not because a person doesn't support your vibes, you know. Sometimes it's not that they don't support you, it's just that they don't support you fully. It has certain things you do.
Yeah.
There are certain things they do. Nah. You know, that is what it is. You know?
People have different opinions, especially when you have somebody that's trying to lead a country. I may not like the fact that he wants to make, you know, I'm just going off my brain here. He wants to make pork legal. I have a problem with that, so I'll vote for the other guy. Doesn't mean I have a problem with you personally who likes pork. You know what I mean? But
so what I'm saying is that now I think we have to get to the stage where we have a national plan. So no matter what party that was there, they come out now. So now that party taken from where they left off and we go in.
Continue.
Yeah,
like what they do in America.
Yeah.
You check? Like what they do in America. Like they say the left wing and the right wing of this some blood clot bird. It's the same thing out there. You know? They have to go to the same IMF. They have to go to the same WHO. It's the same thing. So what is all that thing about? What you using people now to foster your personal agenda or what you perceive is your kind of a vibe? You check me? Why do you come with a national plan and you know, okay, that's pure patriotic kind of a vibes we're talking about. Okay, we bring it to there. So the next party take it from there, and we're going to be taking it from there because we have a vision.
Right.
Check. We have a vision. We check, and that is what we're going with. You know, it's just like PJ was there. PJ come and put a thing, match as and them come, they mash it up. They say no, we don't that. We don't miss the whole stinking thing. You check. They didn't like the bank. Right now, the bank is number one. National Bank, they didn't like it. They say it's back. They start to make fun out of it. They do all kind of things. I remember it. I was youth man, but I see it. Nobody have to tell me. I live in that era. You check. So that's the kind of a vibes. You know, when they build the market was the same kind of a story. And what's the best thing now? Best thing is the bank are there. And only one bank we have in Dominica now.
Right.
They have the other Republic Bank, but only one bank we have in Dominica now, and that's the National Bank, and they were crying it down, and the same set of the crying down. They are in power now. You know?
Crazy.
They come with a different kind of a thing, you know. They dress differently, but it's the same thing, like a coconut.
Differently.
So basically that is it, So we jump in from here to there, but that is how it is. That is me. Because I just wanted to have a conversation. You know what I mean? It's really like an interview. It's just like I having a conversation.
Well, that's what this is, This is not necessarily it's a conversation, and I think
Ra knows that. Ra's been here.
Yeah, we do better with conversations than interviews because they are too structured,
Yeah, it's like
you get more other people with this kind of this format. So, but we do want to do quick hitters. Do we still want to do quick hitters? Oh,
I have to go. I mean, I guess we can rush it quick.
We just do 2 or 3 then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So quick hitters, Rob. Like the rules. Just ask you something, and I guess the answer that pops up in your head, type of deal. I will go first. This one, I really, really, really looking forward to your answer because, out of anybody, respect or loyalty?
Respect
or loyalty?
Or loyalty?
Yes.
Loyalty? I taking it both way. I don't put it one over the other because the respect is good and the loyalty is good. Because I put them in order of importance. I think the respect will go first, the loyalty. So I want to put one over the other.
Right.
I think I work them together. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's good. I like that. All right. So let me ask you this. The worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
The worst piece of advice I ever got. I don't know if it's advice, but or people suggesting or whatever is not loving the Most High.
Oh,
yep. Not loving the Most High, or even loving your brother as yourself. Or doing to others as you would have them to do unto you.
Wow. Yeah. Somebody actually tell that?
Yeah. That's a bad practice, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
You meet Lucifer himself. The biggest risk you ever took?
Biggest risk?
Yeah.
I think the biggest risk, but is sacrificing my schooling for music.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I really love music so much. I thought like, and my brother was wearing the glasses like what I wear now.
Right.
And I figure about, reading a lot of books and stuff like that. So now I want to be able to do my music and be like a student in that kind of a way, as if these two wasn't going together. But I didn't know any better because I started doing music from since I was small, and now I realized, I took that risk, and decide, well, I make that that kind of a sacrifice, my schooling on music, and I choose music.
Oh.
Okay. Would you say it paid off?
What's that?
Would you say that risk paid off, or would you change it if you had the opportunity to go back?
I want to change that because I see basically what I did was on a mission. I was on a mission. So now I feel as if, well, it's something that I achieve.
Right.
So I think it paid off.
Right.
I think it paid off.
All
right. Something that has made you laugh the hardest. I've been around you, and I have never been able to keep a straight face. So for you to tell me something that make you smile the hardest, I might fall on the ground.
Something that make me smile the hardest.
Laugh the hardest.
Boy. I have so much different ones there. I can't even think of one because there are so many.
I know.
I can't think of one in particular because it's just seeing people happy. Really brings that kind of a joy, and it just bring out that smile. So it's not just a laugh, like it's funny. It just bringing that joy. So it just bring that lingering smile. Because I meet a lot of people on the road, and they say, "Well, every time I see you smiling because I see somebody do something and I find it really funny and I really enjoying it,
Right.
and somebody else maybe tell me something simple, and I just go in with that kind of a joy that just radiates from the inside to the outside. So it have a lot of that. I think it's just like people and the things that they do, simple things that they do, simple. You check.
Nice.
And I would just stay sometime and just be like smiling by myself, and there's just like, wow, I smiling, And I think it's good when you live good, because you always have that joy. When you have a bad life, you have a kind of a frown.
Yeah.
But when you see you live good, you always have that kind of a smile, which turns into really an outburst of laughter.
Right.
Just being with you all now, just bringing out that joy and that laughter. So I know it's real. It's a good vibe. So that one day, be really making me laugh, but it brings that joy.
It brings a joy.
Smile. Yes. Right. Joy of a smile.
Nice. Nice.
So last one, Novi?
Yeah.
All right. Something you wish you were better at, and I think we can, whatever your answer is, we can let you go. We've had you here for much longer, but something you wish you were better at.
Something I wish I was better at. It's not a wish, but I pray for. Is to follow the Most High
commands.
He's not just his command, but his ways.
Right.
That's his ways that he prescribed, because it's not like a command and song and so rough, because you just have to do it like naturally.
Right.
So it's like being a better version of myself. So that's what I feel.
Excellent answer. All right. Well, as is, on behalf of Joel, I will say thank you.
Well, I must say thank you, because you look like the jewel. She may be Joel, but you look like the jewel, because your vibe and your energy is a good one. I already appreciate it.
Right.
I already know you personally like that, but I just go on vibes, and I could feel a positive vibe, and that's what I go on. My head may be telling me one thing, my heart may be telling me another thing, but my vibration, and that's what I go on.
Right.
So I want to say thank you for your presence, and Jah make it like that I supposed to have that interview or that conversation with someone like you,
Right.
a novelist, of course, which I accustomed with, but you need it to be there, and everything happened with the creator directing the thing.
Exactly. Everything happens for a reason. Definitely.
I want to say thank you for being the one there to be sitting in with novelists, we having that conversation, because I sure enjoyed every bit of it. So I want to say thank you.
Yeah, we're always happy to have you on. You've been with us several times, so we always appreciate you. So.
Yeah, by big respect, yes.
Yeah, man. Navi, you have the closing.
All right, right. If you want to shout out your studio, social media, your team, go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, well, big up to all the listeners out there. I want to big up to my youth man Ajmal, Adil in New York. Big up Raina, Sonaj, the whole family, the Buyo Empire, the Dominica Massive on a whole, and everybody listening to the program right now. We're big up, and people that will listen to the program later, so big up y'all, and and thanks for everybody that really making a serious contribution to Boya music and making it happen, so I want to thank each and every one of you all for your contribution and for your love and your respect and every good thing to go with it, so thanks for your time. Jah continue to bless each one of you all. We look into a positive 2025 where people get more inspired, uplifted, empowered, all the positive vibes, and make them better human beings, inshallah.
Oh, Ra, I had one question I was supposed to ask before somebody crucifies me. Are we ever going to get any more music from Ra?
Well, sure. Also, I feel like we're making music also,
Yeah, we're always creating history.
Also, I feel like making music, but we're gonna do some production. We're gonna do some stuff, do some production.
Nice.
I'm working with Ajmal. I didn't want to just rush it,
Right.
we have run out of some equipment and all now that we really replenish back the studio. So, you know, we're going to be doing some thing. And the thing is now, as we're working for other people, so I give him a chance to work with other people so that it's rushing it down, you know.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to doing some, you know, some more works, you know, most definitely.
Sounds good. Yeah. Nice. All right, Rah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Big salute.
Yes,
and all the best for 2025 and beyond. You know, Jack continue to bless you all and bless your platform, bless your business, bless your families, you know.
Thank you. All right, bless up.
All the good things. Yeah, show up.
Man.
Love.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Bless up.
All right, bless up, Rah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the empire of, and did I say empire? I didn't say empire of Booyah music, Derick Rah Peters. And trust me, I love sitting down just talking to Rah because Rah educates you on a different level. He talks about the ancestors. He talks about a lot of history, things that we may not know about that we probably need to know. So I love sitting down and talking to Rah because he brings me before Booyah. I'm the type of person, and I love music. I do history on it. That's just me, right? So when sitting down with him, I love it.
Yeah, he brings a different perspective, man, and I think that perspective comes from experience.
Definitely.
You know, and obviously his knowledge in the music business and the industry is invaluable. So, you know, again, big up to him, and I hope to see that we get his national flowers before anything, and he can't hear us anymore.
Well,
I'll tell you, unfortunate thing.
I'll tell you, for me personally, and not because Rah is on the show or Rah's family, Rah and Sparrow, apart from hip hop, was my biggest inspiration. Like Clockers, any member of Clockers would tell you, they couldn't understand me. Even old bands would say, my brother, you is a hip hop man. Why you always listening to WCK? Because I'm about to write. And it sounds weird to people. I'm listening to Booyah, but because Rah tells stories.
Yeah.
There was always a story. Hence the name novelist, stories. So when I listen to Sparrow, I listen to Rah, I get the inspiration of a story. I don't necessarily have to take Medvey and rewrite it, but it gives me an inspiration. You know what I mean? So,
and that's what we want, right?
Of course.
Anyway, folks, all right, we've kept you guys here for much longer.
I gotta go.
I know you all are enjoying it because you all wish Dissect was longer than an hour, but
I know.
you all get away tonight, so be happy.
So who we get next week, Sam?
Yeah, we got a guest for next week. He's up on the screen now.
Nayora is a reggae artist. He's from the island of Dominica, but he lives in St. Thomas. And he also has 2 new Booyah songs out that came out, I want to say 2 months ago. So look out for that next week. We'll be sitting with Nayora and getting some inspiration, education, and all that shun from him, right? So you guys have a blessed week and a blessed weekend, and we will see you guys next week.
All right, remember to keep it locked to TDN Radio all week. That's where your week begins, and all right, what did you say again? That's where your week ends and your weekend
begins.
I won't forget. But thank God, good news. Jewel will be back next week, so you won't be seeing my face, but you'll be seeing her pretty face. All right. So you guys have a great rest of the weekend.
All right. Deuces.
Peace.
So I'm Janine Xavier Cross.
I'm Janelle Xavier. And where's Xavier Street?
So this is what the beats are, the inside, and we're ready to play.
Are you, Jewel? You know I'm hidden talents that you're not talking about.
Let's get to the bar. Ain't no bar in the job.
Yeah.